every 3,000 miles. Should we get out the instruction manual or do we just wing it? If I can jam my finger in the hole, let it get sucked in, tear the tip of it off. Alien ship 3-legged Weber fired up there at the lake on a weekend. Piss poor maintenance. Thoroughly clean the area. Pile of junk. Bindy and grindy and weird. I don't know, just throwing stuff at the wall. This thing was like a redneck trailer park. Smoking like the Marlboro Man. I wonder if it has any oil pressure still. Doesn't matter? Probably not. This Blazer. I'm telling you, it's trying to kill me. I don't know, it's about 3 packs a day right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Fixin Rusty YouTube channel, where we are back today on our 1992 Blazer, known as Smokey for obvious reasons, or not so obvious if you didn't watch the first video. She's a little bit of a smoker, so we've got to work through that problem. I've got a leak down kit, so we're gonna do a leak down on this guy and see what's going on there. My hope is that we've got some bad valve guides, valve seals, and that we can keep this in the top end of the motor. That would be great if we can do that. So we're gonna get in there though in a little bit. We're gonna check on it. I got a Harbor Freight air compressor and a Chinese leak down kit, so I don't see anything that could go wrong with all this. We've also got a new CV axle to put in, new brake pads. I think we're good. I'm loaded up on steroids and ibuprofen, so we should be able to get through this thing with no problem today. And then we'll go from there. So once we find out what we've got with the motor, then we can take it to the next step. We'll decide what do we do with it. We get crazy with it, put some Vortec heads on it, carb swap it, all that business. Probably not. Probably just keep the TBI 350. These things were known for great low end torque, and after all, it's a Blazer. It's not a short bed, fast little sporty race truck. So I think we'll keep what we've got most likely. So let's get into that. First, I think we're gonna do the CV axle, and I did buy brake pads. I know in the first video I said I'm not putting brakes on it. Well, this is how it starts. So I did buy brake pads, so we'll do that. And then we'll jump into the stuff with the engine and see what happens. Thanks for coming along. We're doing this a little bit old school today. As you may have seen in the last video, I hope you did. If you didn't, go check it out. I'll put the link up here to the C10 video, but all my power tools are still in Oklahoma. So we got to go back up there and work on it. So I ended up having to take a plane ride home on that deal. So can't bring your tools home. Well, I say that. Quick diatribe here. Tried to bring home 2 ratchets. I figured I'd just throw it. Was running short on time. I'll throw these in my suitcase, my nice 3/8 ratchet, my nice 1/4 ratchet. Got my damn 3/8 ratchet confiscated at the airport. Too big, so guess who had to go buy a new ratchet this week? Anyways, we got old school. We got the old Impact-O-Matic on the air hose here. I got a little Harbor Freight compressor, so I don't know, we'll try it. I never use this thing anymore, so I figured might as well give it something to do, so. Been a minute. She's powerful. Get spoiled with the battery operated stuff. I think my compressor needs a little bit of a jump start. You guys ever heard of a hit and miss air compressor? I think I found one. I'm gonna say we're a little low on power. It didn't do that at home. All right, let's hurry up and get this done. There's football on today. It's first weekend and I'm missing it. Out here monkeying with this Blazer. All right, I'm gonna say that's good. Let's see if we can get this other end attached. All right, we're underneath it again. I got heartburn under here. I don't think I've ever replaced a CV axle, if I'm being honest. 4WDs and FWDs have never really been my thing, but I guess they are now. Oh, what is this dripping? Oh boy, there's a lot of dripping under here. What the heck? Another thing I just realized, I didn't bring any wrenches. So this could get a little more challenging than I hoped for. Got these new Harbor Freight Icon. What do we got? Swivel joint, professional impact swivel socket set, 3/8 drive. So 40% off parking lot sale. Otherwise I would have never bought these. What size we got here? 10, 13, 15, 15, 15 3/8. Bring out our Batman extension and our brand new, to me, ratchet. See if we can get this guy in there maybe. All right, swivel sockets, do things. Earn your money, earn it. You gotta earn it. Still working on earning it. I'll go over here, maybe. Well, no. There we go. Okay, these might be the bee's knees. There we go, at least get it tight enough to pull up the top. And I can turn it. There's a shock rub on the bump stop. Is that normal? I don't know anything about this stuff. You guys tell me. It smells like somebody's grilling hot dogs. We might just have to forget this wrenching business. Go see where that's coming from. Okay, I definitely see the value in these sockets. This is where it's at here. Man, no popping, no binding within damn universal joints. Yeah, I've never had nice tools. Everything I've ever had is just hand-me-downs, stuff I found, Harbor Freight, so literally everything. So sometimes you run across a tool and you know, here lately I've been trying to buy some nicer stuff off and on. Sometimes it pays off. I see why you guys that are real mechanics out there have a paycheck and a Snap-on bill every month. It's hot, eyes are burning. Oh, wish I had my tools, my power tools, I should say. Man, that's way nicer than a universal joint. That is way nicer. It's like magic. And if you don't have a set of these ridiculously long extensions, get some. I got these at Advance, I think. They're on the rack or whatever, there by the counter. This isn't even the longest one. I think this might be the middle length, or the middle length. They're comically long, but I find myself using these damn things all the time now. The only reason I ever bought them was to be able to get the trunk latch unbolted so I could crawl in through that LTD because I didn't have a key for it yet. And I didn't want to mangle it, but I find myself using them all the time. Running up to kiss me when I get home, it's been a hard day. Nope, I tell you darling, it's been a long week. All right, we might just have to pry bar it, but guess who doesn't have a pry bar? All right, I'm just gonna say torque spec on these is good enough at about 25 foot-pounds. And we'll come back around to this when we get it on the ground. And I'll crawl under there and put a little more on it, I guess. Let's see, how bad is it here? Kind of working against the system here. I'm still a little limited on tools. Down here anyways, I kind of just got a hodgepodge of whatever I could throw together. And it's not exactly correct, so I'm trying to make do with it. This is my pry bar. There we go. Here's our pads. I don't know if you can see them there or not. They had a little bit of life left on them. They weren't totally smoked, but they weren't doing us any good either, so I splurged, I know, wasn't gonna do it. Here we are. And who left this clamp out to get rained on? I swear this has been in the storage unit. Somehow it got rust all over it. I don't have one of those fancy brake caliper collapser jobbers. I just use these typically and it usually works. So we're gonna go with that is our working theory. It's a theory. I don't know at this point if it's working, but it's a theory. Now, no, again, I don't have the right tools today. Quite the difference, so it's probably a good move. I'll probably never get the caliper on though without the correct tool. So we'll probably have to revisit potentially, but we'll get it. Yeah, that's way too far out. That is way, 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 way too far out. New course of action. I'm gonna need to get a little bit better of a tool to compress this caliper. I need one anyway, so I'm gonna wait on this. We're gonna go to O'Reilly, get one of those. So I'm not trying to jack with this C-clamp. This doesn't have enough to get in the center here to get it done. And I need an Allen wrench that fits that. You saw me take it all off before in the last video, but that was also when I had all my tools before they end up getting left in Oklahoma. So that set of Allen wrenches is in, sockets is in that toolbox. So I have a set here, but These are all metric. I just figured one of them would work, but none of these. They're either too loose or too big, so I'm gonna have to get the right standard size one for this. So we'll get that guy. We'll get the caliper tool. We'll come back to this. And I think in the meantime, let's go ahead and get under the hood and see what we can do there. I need some more parts, so make one run to the store maybe instead of two. Last time I killed it. Left key on. So we took it home and charged her up, and we'll give it another rip. Just the highway would quiet down a little bit out there. Trying to film over here. Oh, there we go. Got power back. There's something happening. Snap. No, just kidding. Okay. Let's start on a leak down test. Maybe we just jump right into number 8 and see how bad that guy is. I think that's our, if I remember right, was our biggest culprit. I know the PCV is an option, and we're going to check into that, and that probably needs to be clean. I did buy a new one anyways, along with the breather, but the back cylinder's definitely got more oil than any of the rest if the others do have oil. So if that's the case, it feels like it's probably a valve guide kind of thing or something along those lines. We've got our handy starter widget here hooked up. Finally, I figured out a way to snake my hand down in there on this guy and get it done. It's way easier on the C10. This one was like a rubber boot over the starter wire, and it does a pretty good job of keeping you from getting to it. But I got through the wheel well, and I was able to get back there and do it. So we got our widget here hooked up. The goal is we're going to try to bump this guy over on top dead center for number 8, so we can get our leak down compressor, leak down tester set up here. Just see what's going on with it. So let's work on doing that. See if we can bump it here. Try not to chop my finger off in the fan. Find the hole. There it is. Okay. All right. Everybody clear. Watch out. Suction. There we go. It should be pretty close. Did you hear that? Did you listen close? We should be pretty close. Now, I'm gonna pull a valve cover off, I guess, because I need to look at this PVC setup anyways on this side. We can at least look at the valves and make sure they're both up. Check the rocker arms. So let's do that, and also so we can probably be appalled at the condition of the inside of this engine. There's a lot of moisture, I'd say is the right term, around the intake on one side, and I believe a coolant leak in the thermostat housing. Somehow I don't even have a hammer with me, so we're gonna just try to beat this thing off here with a pair of pliers, I guess. There it goes. I don't even have a, oh, here we go. PCV does rattle, so it's doing something. Yeah. There's some junk in there though. What is this? I don't even know what that does. Oh, EGR stuff. Yeah, great. Everybody's favorite. Can you even get a valve cover off these things without disassembling the whole top end? I don't know. Certainly not easily. Let's formulate a plan on how to get this valve cover out of here. I got it off, but how about we just sort of tweak on Mr. Bracket here. There we go. There we go. Just made some clearance. Okay. I don't know if you can get the valve cover off these without taking the AC off of it, or the AC line off. Just when I think, you know, I'm kind of growing to like this pile of junk, it just sucks you right back into not liking it. Camera died again. It's hot again, but let me bring you in here and show you what we're working with. I just got the valve cover off. Move the dipstick out of the way, and that was good enough to get it off. So things are just looking great. Isn't that just delicious? Every 3,000 miles, like religiously, I don't see anything wrong with any of that. Oh my goodness. Great. I see the oil isn't even flowing back to the bottom of the engine because it's got so much shit packed in the return. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe back here. That's just good stuff. I guess we'll go ahead and waste our time and do a leak down test on it. And I don't know. We'll see what it's got. Oh yeah. Get in there good. Talk about having your bubble burst. When you do have some kind of hope for something and you realize you're just wasting your time. Where is it? Where's the drain? Somewhere back in there. There it is. Okay, well we've successfully made a hole there. I guess this isn't drain back oil. This is just kind of pooled in the corner oil maybe, but if nothing else, we have successfully wasted time. Let's do the leak down test. Well, disappointment number one. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was. So anyways, we are on top dead center, at least close enough to it. We got, I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know if you can see it, but both rockers are loose, so that means our valves are shut, which means we're up on the stroke there, which means we should be able to do this leak down test on the cylinder. Get in there. Come on. Come on. You son of a bitch. Don't you ever come back to Chucky's. Something I'm doing wrong or the hole. Keep your jokes to yourself. Okay, yeah, that one works. See, it's not just me. Oh, did we get it? It is me. It is me. Okay. There we go, we got it. Okay, let's hook this contraption up. Prepare for disappointment. I'm already disappointed, so I guess you can't be much more disappointed. Should we get out the instruction manual or do we just wing it? What do you think? I think we've got our gauge calibrated here to 0. Pretty close. I don't know, running about 27 PSI. It said between 15 and 20, but I don't know, whatever. It's 0 right here, so. This is my attempt to play mechanic when I'm not one. So I think I got this thing figured out, and it says you hook this widget up and see what happens. Okay. I hear airflow, but we are in the, 25% range. That's pretty good. Dang it, keep it down out there. This isn't the Thunder Valley. What does that tell us? I don't know what that tells us. That tells us that there's not a lot of leak down on this side. So that tells us that our cylinder's probably good. And that our problem probably lies in our heads, which we kind of had a feeling. So let's move through the row here. Let's check these other cylinders and kind of see what we get. I'm hoping to see the same results. See, this thing's even dropping. It's probably getting some oil kind of packed down in there, but shoot, that's good. That's really good. I'm surprised. I'd be happy if they're all like that. We kind of move along the line here and see what we get. If I can be convinced that our heads are the problem and that we don't have anything in the bottom end, maybe I'll try to get some heads for this thing and not scrap the whole deal. So let's keep moving down the line and see what happens. Well, just poking around on top of here, one thing I will say I can notice is if I put my hand, I can feel air, a little bit of faint air on top of the rocker arms. I would say probably more on the exhaust side, which makes sense. Definitely would feel like it's more on the exhaust valve side. So I think that's what we got. I think we're probably losing a little bit, obviously. Right there in the back, I feel a good bit coming up through there. It's just blowing like crazy, but you can feel a little bit of air. I think we're cylinder head, PCV area, and probably cylinder heads. So I'm gonna just do a few more of these, kind of work the way down the line. It's not gonna hurt anything to do it. And see what our next step is. I know this is riveting content, but you're learning the same way I am. Maybe you already know, you probably already know, but this stuff's new to me. Like I said, I'm kind of trying to figure this stuff out as I go. I'm pretty good at diagnosing things, but Some of these fancy tools I'm still learning, so. Let's take our chances and see what happens. That one's really low. That one's 14, 13, give or take. Take a gander for yourself. You don't believe me. I'm just telling you. I don't make it up as I go. I don't know what I'm doing. There you go. So we're good there. We are not great there. Where to put the hose? Oh, right there. Damn thing's a snake. It tore my leg off. 15. Let's find number 2 and give this one a rip. If I can jam my finger in the hole, let it get sucked in, tear the tip of it off. Feels good. Loose. Loose, you hear that? I know you can't see it too great or hear it around the highway, but that's what you want to hear. Loose rocker arms. Valves are shut. Doesn't really matter where in the stroke as long as you got loose rocker arms. That means your valves are shut. TDC just happens to be the easiest way to do that. And if you don't know, TDC is top dead center. And if you don't know, a real easy way to find TDC is just stick your finger in the spark plug hole and wait for it to try to blow it out. This is kind of tricky to do with the key, with the starter, because it wants to bump a lot harder and longer, and it's easy to miss it and move past it too far. But with one of these guys, if you don't have one, if you're going to work on junk and you're going to try to bring this stuff back to life, and you're going to have to mess with it and, you know, jack with the carburetor while you're trying to run it, get you one of these guys at O'Reilly or wherever. They're like, I don't know, 15, 18 bucks, 20 bucks. So, yep, there we go. Okay. I don't know why I'm singing Christmas songs. I guess because this Blazer is just such a gift. No, not a gift. I'll tell you what, this Blazer is more like a white elephant gift, you know, one of them parties where you buy gag gifts and crap that nobody wants and just you get stuck with whatever you get stuck with. I feel like this Blazer is like the white elephant of all the crap I've drug home so far. And I'm still waiting on it to grow on me, like, kind of like a wart, but we ain't there yet. Oh, she's hot. This one's hot. This one's running 10%. I mean, way low. Got me thinking, since we're in the mood, maybe I'll rename it from Smokey to the White Elephant. Anybody think that it's gonna look better on this side once we pull the valve cover off? I'm gonna go with no. I think what we're looking at is an issue with valve guides and the heads, but I'm gonna look into that PCV system a little bit more, make sure there's not anything I'm missing. And we've got all 8 cylinders on the bottom and seem fine, so they're all between, what, 22 and 10, so it's pretty good. But let me gather my thoughts about it, let me see what I can come up with, and I'll come back with an update here in a little bit. Welcome back to another day with our old Blazer here, Smokey Robinson. Last time we were working on this thing, we were looking inside the engine. We just done a leak down test on it. Everything seemed to check out pretty good on that part. But our concern is going to be PCV, valve guides, what are we working with? And I think the PCV system is fine, judging from what I can tell. I can blow through everything. I don't see anything crazy excessive amounts of oil, although I could be wrong. It is pretty sludged up in there. And it could be just sucking oil in that's pooling up because of the sludge. Other thing though is I did feel air coming out of that number 8 cylinder, mostly around the exhaust valve, kind of on the back side when I was doing the leak down. So to me, that's probably where our problem is. I think what we're gonna do is pop a couple rocker arms and pull the valve springs off number 8 and just see, you know, see what's going on there. and see how bad the guides seem to be, because that seems to be our worst cylinder. So if we can see where our guides are at, if they're remotely decent, can we maybe get by with putting some valve seals in it? I have not found any rebuilt heads yet for this 350 TBI out there on the old marketplace. And I know if I pull these off and take them to a machine shop, I don't know how long I'm gonna wait for them and how much it's gonna cost, and is it even worth it? So we're trying to, essentially what I'm trying to do is jam a square peg in a round hole again, because this is what it is. So let's go ahead, get started and get in here and see if we can get these valve springs off, see what's going on and exactly how bad it is. I've got our handy dandy air hose here from our leak down tester. I'm gonna try to thread this guy in there. We're gonna hook up some shop air to it, see if we can pop that valve up. Hold pressure on that while we take the valve springs off. That's our goal anyways. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and check and see if it's even up off the valve. No, it's not. Let's bump this guy around until we've got no pressure on our valve springs, so that when we put this turd back together, it is straightforward and easy to do, and we know right where it needs to be, and we don't have to start really monkeying with all this stuff. So here we go. Every time this thing gets me. If it isn't one end, it's the other. I swear. Okay. All right. Try it again. Yep. We're off there. Good and loose. Okay. We'll call that where we need it to be. Very special tool for this. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. I say that. Is this the right size? Probably not. Is it even gonna fit? Probably not. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right, I don't feel like getting down in the nastiness 900 here. And the I don't have any power tools 9000. It doubles. It's versatile. Set that guy there. I saw that coming. Let me find that real quick and I'll be right back. All right, joke's on you, I found it already. It looks like a rocker arm. A caked and God knows what substance rocker arm, but it looks like a rocker arm, so. And our push rod exists. Oof. If I mentioned these new swivel sockets yet, you gotta get you set. Go down there to Harbor Freight. Pick up the Icon ones if you feel like overpaying, like I did. Or just get you the Pittsburgh. Not as many of them in the set, which is the reason why I got the Icon, but same concept and a lot cheaper. You just kind of cover the basics. You don't really get any of the high or low end sizes. And that thermostat housing really is leaking. And we'll get to that. We got bigger fish to fry. I mean, yeah, looks okay. Shiny down in there, nothing looks abnormal. Man, there's such a bunch of shit in here. Wow. Next level, amazing actually. Let's see what our push rod's up to here. I wonder if you can even see through it. Yeah, you can see through it, okay. It's oiling. Oh, it's hot. It's hot already. I got sweaty just setting the camera up. Okay, well let's get out the valve spring tool and see if we can pop the spring and retainers out of here, and then take a look at seals and see exactly what's doing. I'll bring in here in a minute once we get to that point and kind of show all the highlights or lowlights, as it were. Is it fall yet? What is it, September? No, dummy, it's Texas. Fall doesn't come till November. Okay, and our magnet here. All right, let's see if we can pull this magic trick off. Well, the valve's wanting to move. That's not enough air pressure. I think we're gonna have to do the old smack it with a socket and pray we don't lose the keepers method. Can I even get a damn hammer in here to smack this thing? Of course it's gotta be the one in the back. Place your bets now. Is it gonna work or end in disaster? I don't know how I'm gonna even be able to get a socket on this. Get a good enough swing at it. There it goes. I was hoping that might do it too, just smacking it with a hammer a few times. Might get the coked in oil release around those keepers to where it would move and the valve would stay up and the spring would move. It was just kind of sticking in there. So it looks like that might have done it. So let's try this backwards here. I'd rather do this with my left hand, but it is what it is, right? It's the worst thing that could happen. There they are. I'm gonna have to fish them out by hand or with a pick. Let me get a pick. Didn't we just do valve train stuff on the LTD? There's the keepers. Let me go ahead and set these somewhere where I'm sure to lose them. I put them in this block of wood here, so when I can't find them here in a little bit, you guys remind me. I'm gonna say, hey, where'd I put those? And you guys are gonna say, the block of wood, dummy. But I'm not gonna realize it till I've already bought new ones and I'm editing this video. See how that works? And then I'll be kicking myself because I'll be like, the block of wood. Of course, total sense. That's not a problem, is it? I don't know what everybody's so worried about. I don't know, there's valve seal in there. It's there. I don't know if it's any good, but it's there. How do you know if it's any good? It feels awfully firm. You set this to the side and I'll show you what we're screwing around with here real quick. Yeah, I can see a little bit of movement side to side, definitely. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't feel like it's just sloppy loose. Yeah, just a little bit of play in there. I don't think it's a lot, but it's probably something. I don't know. I sure would have expected more than that, I guess. Let's pull the intake valve also and see what it looks like. We got updates. Let me take you in here and see what we're working with currently. I've been shot back in here a little while, you know, just because nothing like vacuuming your engine out. So as you can probably see, it looks moderately better. We've still got a lot of crap down in here. I don't know if you can really see it or not. Probably not. I did get the front oil hole cleaned out and the back one too. They were completely plugged up. I mean, there's just junk caked between the rockers and the casting on the head on the side. So we're getting closer. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I did drop the 2 valves down in there. They didn't come out in the guide, so we're okay. I'll spin the cylinder back around and I think we can get them and pull them back up. I have a pretty good hunch also that as bad as this was caked full of sludge, and when I pulled this valve cover off and looked this first time here, and this truck hadn't been ran in a few weeks, and there's still oil pooled and standing at the bottom of the valve cover like a good bit, like all the way up to the ridge on the valve cover, or the head where it meets the valve cover. That, yeah, it's the PCV, probably a good chance it's sucking a lot of oil because the oil's got nowhere to go. So we're gonna work through that, put some valve stems and seals in it, not valve stems, valve seals in it, and get that stuff cleaned out, and we're gonna go from there. Maybe dump some Marvel in it, do a few oil changes, run it, and see what kind of success we have. That might be most of the issues we've had with this thing. You know, they may not have, the guides are, I'm sure they're not great, but the maintenance problems might be the bigger issue. So we're gonna take care of those and just see where we stand. So we got some work to do on old girl here, but it'll come around. I think we'll turn it into a nice rig. This will be great for, you know, rock calling or beach going or climbing or whatever it is that 4-wheel drive people do with these things. So we'll get her to come back around, get her back to life. But I think that's going to do it for right now. But we're going to get back on it, and we will be back before too long on this thing. Welcome back, another day here with our 92 Blazer Old Smoky. It's been a couple weeks at least. I've been out running around doing other stuff. Working on that C10. If you didn't go see that video yet, go check it out. That thing is out now. But we got to get back on this guy, get back on the engine, try to get our smoking situation taken care of. We've got a CV axle, got that put in on this side, working on brakes on the front of this guy. I did see the CV axle boot is torn on this side, but the axle seems fine. I'm gonna attempt to get in a wrestling match with this CV boot and see if I can alligator roll this thing on there or something, I don't know. So we've got that going. Yeah, then we'll just kind of check and see what's going on with the front end, if it's loose or not. Kind of feels a little loose, may need to tighten up the steering gearbox. I'm not sure, maybe have some play and some tie rods. So we'll go through all that today or tomorrow. And I want to check the rear brakes eventually. But the goal is to get this thing back on the ground, get it running and driving good, get it stopping good, and get the smoke stopped. And then once we've got kind of a unit we can actually take out and drive and actually make usable again, then we'll get into some other stuff. So that's the plan today, is to get back on it, get some of that stuff going, and hopefully have something that's not just a big kind of ugly pile of junk. Show you here, we got the brakes done on this side already. I went ahead and knocked this out real quick this morning. Just put new pads in it, got this guy collapsed here, And I'll show you this fancy tool I got here off the Amazons. It's a brake caliper compression jobber with a ratcheting widget on here. You give her the old, and it clicks and does things. Let's see. Tie rod end, I noticed, is loose. That's new, so I'll have to address that. Our CV axle's in. This is torqued. We're good to go here. So we're basically good to go on this side. So I got the other side to do. I'm going to pull the axle out of it because it's got a torn boot, but I think the axle's fine. So probably get to that next. I don't feel like getting greasy and nasty just yet on the engine. So let's go ahead and see if we can get a little less greasy and nasty on the suspension. Well, if you watched the first Blazer video, you'll probably recall that this thing's kind of been the bane of my existence in some ways. I'm hoping it grows on me like, I don't know, like a wart or a boil or a bunion or something like that. But I'm trying to come around to it. I like the concept. I like the vision I have in my head for this thing. And if we can get it to that point without spending too much money, then I'll grow to like this thing. So that's the plan anyways. So next step. What is the next step? Caliper? Yes. Hand hammer off the caliper. Dang it, I hate it when that happens. We are working down at the Fixin Rusty number 2 location, which means I'm disorganized and lacking in most supplies and tools like usual. So, but at least I got my stuff back from Oklahoma, so that's good. Spoiler alert on the C10 video if you haven't watched it. Great, now I gotta turn the wheel to get my damn socket out of there. Don't tell me if this is clear or not. Yeah. Turn. Okay. But I'm hopeful our fortunes on this Blazer will change soon, and I think it'll be cool. I'll come around on it. But it better quit smoking, I can say that. If it doesn't quit smoking, we might have some problems. You can leak all the oil you want. I'll put all the snake oil and stop leak I can find in it, but just gotta quit smoking. Yeah. Dent right there. You guys noticed that? Get out of the way. Tried to run 35s on it, and that didn't work. So, and right here, a little rub. Just using my keen observation of evidence of past. That's why I bought a size that wasn't a 35 for this. So, not gonna spoil it yet. You gotta stick around and wait to see what we got. But I'll tell you, they're not 35s. Pry bar. We got the BFH. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Looks fine. I don't see anything wrong with those pads, do you? There we go. Here's our pads. Definitely worn out, but definitely worn out evenly. So I'll take that all day long. At least they don't look like charcoal briquettes like you're trying to get the old alien ship 3-legged Weber fired up there at the lake on a weekend like the C10s did. So that's good. I did get on the internet here at some point this past week and was looking on how you're actually supposed to take these CV axles out. And it turns out you're not supposed to do it the way I did it on the other side. So we're going to try that method, which is, I think, just take the lower shock bolt loose and move it out of the way-ish. Is that going to work on this? I don't know. I kind of like the way I did it. Well, figure something out here. I might take those 6 bolts over there loose first, and then just see what it'll do on this end. So let's do that. We'll go ahead and get rid of that guy because he is not going to have the torque necessary. And we're going to let this brake caliper hang by the hose because that's what you're supposed to do on these deals. That's how you know that the hose is still good. Oh, hey, hang on. Hey, hang on. Hold up. I don't know enough about these to know when they spin and when they don't. So I'm just going to jam a pry bar in here and hope it helps. Maybe I can get it on the floor here. Yeah, it looks like a winner. Oh, let go. Yeah, a little bit of leverage there. These guys out of here. So I'm going to do this real quick, and then we will move on to the other end. She is loose. And 1, 2, 3. this guy off here real quick. Alrighty, Mr. Shock. In a shocking development, it's worn out. Great. Isn't that supposed to come back when you do that? It's just a money pit. It's just an absolute money pit. That's what this is. It's a four-wheel drive money pit. It's starting to feel like we need another axle. Well, just doing a little cost-benefit analysis here. I got an outer boot. I didn't notice the inner was damaged. Even if this does go back together and I don't know what I'm doing, let's assume all that is true, because that's definitely true. I don't know what I'm doing. The inner boot's like 30 bucks. The outer boot was like $36 or something. I'm gonna have 65, 70 bucks in boots, plus one hell of a fight on my hands, in the hopes that this used CV axle would work. Or I could just go buy a new one for like $130 or whatever it is, $120, and be done with it and not have to fight with it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and spend the extra money. Let's put another new CV axle in it. Put another new CV axle in it like we did the other side. And just be done with this godforsaken CV axle business, all right? So that's where I'm at. And we need to figure out these shocks. I may go ahead and take that other side loose too, and see what the situation is on these shocks. I had a sneaking suspicion that the rear probably are as bad as the front, so we'll get those too. So, all right, let me clean up a little bit and figure out what's going on with against the parts, and I'll be back. Oh, I'm getting old. Hear the bones crunching. Since we hit a bit of a snag there on the front, and we know we're going to need a CV axle, which I got to locate, and we know we're going to need shocks, figured let's check the rear. So I went ahead and popped this guy off and see if he does anything shocking. He looks fairly limp as well. Yeah, so I mean, this isn't an off-road shock thing, right? They're supposed to have rebound and compression, and this one just doesn't do any of that. It just stays. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and say 4 shocks is gonna be the ticket. It's always something. Well, I tried to pull this guy off with the old-fashioned way and just kind of tap on it, pull on it, but she's not wanting to cooperate. I don't think it's stuck on there, but it's just kind of a pain to get off. It's got this backing plate on it that kind of has a lip on the edge, and so you can't really just kind of tap the back edge of the drum. So I'm going to use the drum puller. This is just the Astro brand drum puller. I'll put a link to the description. Amazon link, affiliate link in the description. If you want one of these, they're pretty handy. If you work on any of this old stuff, really anything with drum brakes, they're pretty dang handy. So I'll link that if you're interested. Let's see if we can do this. That is the trick. Okay, we are strapped and ready. Let's try it again here. If I can remember how to use this widget. This guy, this way. There she goes. Should come off now, it feels like. Yeah, she just was a little tight there around the axle, but there she goes, just like that. Save you a lot of time. They're not terribly expensive, but they will sure save you a ton of time. Yep, I'll link that down in the video description. And you can get yourself one too. And it helps me. I do get a small commission of any of the stuff you buy through Amazon, so. Oh hey, that's my spray. I was like, hang on, we got a wheel cylinder? No. We got a lot of brake dust and some PV plaster. Okay. Don't look bad though. Actually looks pretty good in here. A lot of life left on these shoes. Lots and lots of life. I might get in here, hit this with some brake cleaner, blow it out. The seal's good. Nothing leaking there that I see. Looks good. Brakes look very good. I don't see any crusties or leaking here on our wheel cylinders. We'll bring in here, you can take a look at it. Not too bad, a little crack on the shoe there. We're gonna pretend I didn't see that. Got my handy flashlight here. But yeah, not too terribly bad. A lot of life left there. I don't see anything catastrophic here with our wheel cylinders. They look pretty good. I have used the brakes recently on this and they feel pretty good. So we are going to say this looks great and shoot it with some brake clean. And I think call it good, and then just go ahead and put it back together and check the other side. Oh wait, one other thing. Let's check our drum. What's our drum look like? Yeah, that's good. Looks very good. Hell, it doesn't even hardly have any kind of a ridge or anything. Okay, perfect. Next side. We're just gonna go ahead and preemptively go to our drum puller on this side. I have a good idea of probably what we're up against. I already blew the cobwebs and crap off this side, so just run it in here like so. If you can see that, set this guy up, hook your little widgets on the thing, stick the thing in the hole, a little nub in the middle of your axle, and tighten this nut. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and strap it because I don't want to do it twice. Put your fancy Rache strap here. Perfect. Okay, and pack the Rooney. All right, and then you just hammer it. Boop, there she goes. You're done, just like that. As you see, all we got in there is a bunch of brake dust. Rebuilt real quick. Good, great, perfect. Completely rebuilt. And we might as well rebuild the drum while we're at it. If that's what you want. And I'll get you here and show you what we got. Looks pretty good. I'll take it. All day long, I'll take that. Not having to redo drum brakes. I'm gonna get this drum put back on and we're gonna call this one done. And then I guess we'll have to kind of take an inventory and see where we're at on parts before we can get this front back together. Probably have to go get a CV axle next. I'd like to get as much done underneath as I can while I can. All right, a little bit of an update here. Been looking into these shocks a little bit and I couldn't help but wonder, are these like the circle track shocks we used to run back in the day where they're not gas charged in terms of they don't just expand just whenever you take the pressure off of them. They're hydraulic and they're valved to be 50-50, 90-10, whatever. So I got some checking on this and I'll show you. Like, you can pull this guy out. There's no point anywhere in the stroke that feels funny at all. And then I'll show you if I can tilt this guy down here, push it on it, and it's smooth. And then pull out, and it's smooth. I'm not feeling anywhere in here that feels, you know, bindy or just dead pockets. Usually you feel that on a shock that's worn out. It'll just have a spot where it just goes, it's done. I'm not feeling that, so I think these might be okay. I think they may just be hydraulic shocks. They're kind of old school, so I don't know. I'm gonna put it back on there and see how it handles and see how it rides. If it handles okay, if it rides okay, I mean, it's gonna ride like a wagon anyways. Maybe we just leave them, I don't know. I checked the rear and it was the same exact way. That's why I'm thinking, is that a coincidence? Because it felt very similar to how this felt. It didn't have any dead spots, it's just has that pushback. So I don't know, maybe they're hydraulic. We're gonna put them back on once I get the CV axle and try it anyway, so I'll let you know how it goes. Well, my hunch on the steering box being a little loose was optimistic and also wrong. Let me show you what's really going on here. Keep your eye on the pitman arm there. See that? Yeah, looks like all that slop is in the pitman arm, so it's not good. Nothing seems to be moving below on there, so it looks like we need a pitman arm, which on this, because of the front cross member, requires you to take the gearbox off the truck, which also includes a third bolt that is kind of hidden right here, which makes that even harder, and then so on and so forth for the rest of it. Pretty standard stuff, but still a pain, and I think I'd like to do it, so I guess I'm going to get online and look and see how much a pitman arm is going to cost. If it gets the steering tight, it's worth it. We might as well. We've got the CV axles in here. I want to drive pretty good, so and right now you got a lot of slop on the steering wheel, so Okay, pitman arm acquired, or at least ordered on Amazon. So that'll be here overnight. And ordered a pitman arm puller too, or one of those front end service kits. I don't have one of those. I don't have a pitman arm puller, and I always need one, but I figured I'd get the whole kit. It's got the tie rod end, puller, and widgets, and ball joints, and all that. So I don't know, we'll just do it that way. So we're gonna pivot again to the top of the engine. So next challenge I got is getting the valves back up through the valve guides on number 8 that drop down in there. So I think I'm going to try to rotate the engine, have the piston push the valves back up so we can get these valve seals back on, because I thought the air would hold them up and it didn't. So I didn't have enough air pressure in that little compressor. There's what I'm talking about. Isn't it fun? All right, I can't turn it by hand, so I bumped it with the starter and I got one of them up here on the intake. So I'm gonna take this magnet, kind of stick this here. I do not have any zip ties, tape, I got nothing. So I figured, well, I'll just stick this magnet here and hopefully it'll kind of hold that guy. I'm gonna bump it and try to grab the other one, I guess. Hope it doesn't drop down in there. It's about all I can do. So there she is, boom. Okay, well that's enough to do what we need to do. We got some handy dandy degreaser here. What do we got? Purple people eater? I don't know, it's probably a good idea, huh? Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Can't get much worse. Okay, let that soak about 2 seconds per the manufacturer recommendation. So we don't need that stuff is strong. Okay, let's go ahead and pull these valve cover gaskets off. I got a new set I found at the junkyard laying on an engine that'll probably work good. They look like they're Felpro and they're slightly used, but I think they're better than these, so why not? So we'll just gently place that over there. Will this fit? Oh yeah. See what we got. Ooh, the smell. The smell is just violent. Oh yeah. The smell of piss poor maintenance. You guys know the smell, right? You know the smell. I don't have to explain it, do I? This is just a mess. I don't even want to. I got a camera. I suppose tomorrow I can bring it. We can look down in here, but I don't want to. I don't know that it's a good idea for any of our mental health for me to do that. So we might just bury our head in the sand or oil sludge and pretend we didn't see it. Okay, I can get a screwdriver through there, so surely we can get some oil through it now. What happens if I fill the crankcase full of brake cleaner? That won't hurt anything, will it? What is this? Where does it go? Huh. I don't know. Somebody else's problem. AutoZone's got a 3 for $9.99 on brake cleaner going right now, so that's like $3.33 a can. So there's your deal right there if you're looking for brake cleaner. I don't know how long that's going for, but when you'll see this, but there you go. Let's go ahead and see if we can absorb some of the fire hazard out of here, maybe. I'm sure it'll evaporate on its own, but you know, in case it doesn't, I'd like to feel a little bit better about it. And I don't know, that's pretty good. It's going to be about what we can do, and we're going to have to do this each 2 springs, 2 rock arms, 2 whatevers as we go. Just kind of clean these guys up. Bring in here. Let you take a gander yourself, see what you think now, huh? It's like a regular machine shop around here. But you get the gist. So we got that to go on, you know, all these still. I've already kind of got the main chunks I could get with the vacuums. Anywho, I'm going to get back to it, and I'll have an update here in a little bit. This is kind of boring, so see y'all in a bit. Rocker arms are all off. Went ahead and yanked them. And to give you an idea of what we're working with before it's really been cleaned, here's another good look at it. And this is how bad it is. We don't even have the springs removed, but just with the rocker arms removed. Delicious. I mean, delicious. And you can see the oil flow back port is supposed to be right there. And look at this. Look at that. Thick that is. Just blocking that port. So yeah, no chance there was any oil getting back on this thing. I mean, it'd take it forever to drain back. You just have to probably get so full that it made its way through what's left of the holes up by the push rods. So it's just standing in oil, I'm sure. Just a mess in here. So just about do it for today. I'm worn out. It's hot. Another 95 or 97 degree day today. So Supposed to cool off tomorrow afternoon. I think supposed to get a cold front. Down here this time of year, cold front means the highs are in the 80s, so I'll take that. That's going to do it for today. We got some parts coming in the mail. I think I got a pitman arm coming tomorrow, some tools coming, and I got a good CV axle on the way down, hopefully tomorrow. And we'll get back to work, try to get the front suspension and steering buttoned up and get back on this engine side of things. But that's it for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, good early morning to everybody. We are back again for the Blazer. And today I think we're gonna go and see if we can't finish off the valve seals on this thing. Yesterday I did the right bank, 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, the right bank. I got those done. I was painting them, you know what. I didn't record any of it because it was hot, it was miserable, I was sweaty, I forgot my fan, so. But I figured I'd save today to kind of show you guys just what I'm doing. Maybe if you got a small block Chevrolet and you need to change valve seals, this will help you out. Or pull the valve springs. It's the same process basically. But I'm gonna do it kind of in the bare bones in the car, very minimal tools kind of way. I don't have a great valve spring compressor tool. I don't have any magic stuff. I'll just kind of show you how I'm doing it. And a simple way to do it. It's probably not the right way, but it will work. So that's the goal. We'll get that driver's side bank done. We will put the rock arms back on, set the valve lash on this thing. Got a coolant temp sensor, a couple other little things, put everything back together. And maybe, just maybe we'll get to the point today to see if it'll run and see if it still smokes. Also got another CV axle to do, some more brakes to do, and man, this highway is loud. And a few other things to get this thing running and driving again. So what I'll probably do is show you one kind of in real time, give or take, and then we'll just kind of time lapse the rest of it. You can see how nasty this job is. So anyways, let's get to it. First thing we got to do is we got to get the valves out, or the valve springs out. I have a valve spring tool, but these valves are so like coked in there, like nasty, that the retainers just want to stick. So I'm using the old socket and hammer trick, which could be a little tricky on this side with the alternator. You got to be able to get a good whack at it there. So essentially you just sit this on top of the valve, smack it, and try to keep your socket on top of the valve to catch the keeper, because the keeper's going to hop up out of there. There's 2 keepers, and you want to keep it in the socket here so you don't lose it. It may take a few rounds. It usually does. It usually takes me a few. I guess I don't hit it hard enough first time typically to get it out. So you'll want to just get her there and boom, give her a good smack. First thing I'm going to do though before I do that is we need to get this engine to where we've got a piston up to hold the valve so they don't drop all the way down into the cylinder. So let's do that real quick. Let me get my bumping stick here. Okay. Let's see what we got. Yep, we got power. Okay. So, finger over the spark plug hole. Still some right there. Kind of let it run around here. Feeling pretty good pressure right there. So that should be ballpark close enough to where we can go ahead and give this a good smack and try to get our keepers out. And you'll know, I'm gonna do the intake one first, because the intake guide, or the intake seal, holds the intake valve pretty well, typically. And then I can kind of play with that thing up and down and see how far it goes. If it feels like it's wanting to go down all the way too far, then bump your piston, or turn your engine a little bit more, bump that piston up, try to get it up a little bit to where at bare minimum you don't want that valve to drop down in there. So that's what we're going for anyways. So let's just see what we got on this first one here. Yep, there's one of them. There's your keeper. Little half moon deal, and move him a little far out of the way. So we got one out. We got one more in here though, so we need to give it another smack. Let's see if we can get that second keeper out. Nope. There we go. And you'll kind of feel it jump when it's out. The second one's out. So there we go. There's our second keeper. Stick him on our magnet and carefully pull our valve. Yee. If you can see how grody that valve spring is. Look at that thing. The thing looks like it's been living in a coal mine. So we'll set that right there, and then we'll grab our valve here. Yeah. I can't even move that one. Usually I can move them. You get a rag here. Man, that's nasty in there. All the chunks and stuff in here. That's what we're trying to get rid of. Man, I can't even move that one. Interesting. Well, let's pull the seal off and see what happens. Just careful on the valve though. You don't want to nick up the valve itself. Just grab hold of her and wiggle her around. And once she pops off that guide, then you got it. There you go. There's your valve seal. Just a little piece of rubber with a little metal band on it. Get him centered up. Try not to smack myself in the face. Give it a good smack. And there's one keeper right there. Grip on it. There it goes. There's our nasty intake valve spring. Let's see what this one does. Or sorry, exhaust valve spring. That one's free. That's what they're supposed to do. And this is our exhaust seal, valve seal. It's just a plastic cap. This is all the sludge and crap we're after. This gooey, chocolatey, brownie goodness. Even up in the drain back holes between the push rods, it's pretty bad. So I'm gonna get in here with the shop vac. While I have these springs out, this is a good time to get kind of this area right here clean as you can, and then we'll do the same on each one as we move around. And then be sure and blow out these holes right here if you've got these center bolt small block Chevys, because this is where the valve cover bolt screws into the head. And these are blind holes, so you don't want that full of trash and you go threading a bolt down in there. You could probably break something, you could probably strip it out, you know, you could probably do a number of bad things, so just blow that out real good. Okay, we're back. Harbor Freight it was for the valve spring tool, which is this widget right here, kind of a cheaper one. $10.99 at Harbor Freight for the Maddox brand, which is basically Snap-on as far as I'm concerned. I just tried it on the intake valve here, this guy, and worked pretty good. So I don't know, I think it'll be fine. So I'll get you in here and I'll show you how I do these. First we got to slip our valve seal on. This is the exhaust side. It's just basically a plastic cap. These are much easier to put on than the intake side. So we're just going to kind of, you know, thoroughly clean the area. Let's see, is she thoroughly cleaned? Yeah, sure. Besides that chunk right there, it's pretty clean. This guy right here, we're just gonna push him down over the valve gently, and he's gonna kind of sit down over the valve guide, which is this widget in here, and then grab the stem and pull up on it, and while pushing down on the guide, or the seal, and that's gonna hold it in place right there. No rope, no anything in the cylinder. That should hold it where you need it if you're careful when you put your valve on, or your spring on. Man, I'm struggling today. So we got our spring that about dumped everywhere. Okay. And we're gonna grab them in this guy here. Okay, are we in? Almost, there we go. Center that up a little better. Okay, all right, before you start cranking on it, get these tabs to where they are not blocking the hole where you need to drop the retainer down in there. So we're good there. I can see I should have access to the hole there. Everything looks square. And it's just like you're turning on the water faucet. Let's start cranking. Give her a few. Okay, that's collapsed pretty good. Let's see what we got here. See if we can access, what we gotta do is we gotta access these two grooves. Pretty good access, but let me give it a little bit more. I wanna make sure I can get this in one shot. So I'm just kind of gently pushing it over, sitting it over the valve there. I'm trying not to touch that valve and push it back down in the hole. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna try that right there and see how that does. So we got our retainers. Seems like these are easier to put in if you do them both roughly at the same time, at least for me. I'm gonna try to just kind of lay them in here. Just be careful not to drop them. You kind of jostle around. The one went in, the other one, he needs a little help. It's close. I'm just gonna take my needle nose and kind of push him in, and he's in. There you go, and I'm gonna pull up on this tool. What I'm doing here is just holding the spring pressure up to pull that keeper into place, to hold that keeper so it can't jump out and get out of whack while I release it. So I'm gonna hold this up here and then start cranking back on this to release the spring pressure off. And just release all the pressure and take your tool out like so. And there you go. And that is installed. You're looking to make sure those two keepers, they look like they're flush on the top. One of them's not cocked in there sideways, crooked, anything like that. So another thing you can do when you get it in there is just give it a little rap with the hammer. Kind of see if anything moves around or not. That's a brass hammer, by the way. Don't do that with a regular hammer because it will mark it up. Can. So that looks good. So that's it. That's basically the gist of it. Pretty simple, really. So I've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go and clean up the rest of the heads here. So I think we're going to go ahead and let me jump on that. You've seen one, you've seen them all, right? So let me get this done and then we'll move on to putting everything back together on the top of this engine. And just like that, valve springs, valve seals are done. It's time to lash the valves. Let me show you what they look like here when we're done. So you can see it up close. I don't know how good that time lapse will show it. Cleaned up pretty good. Best we're gonna be able to really do here. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not even great, but it's something. So at least we can get oil back to the bottom of the engine now. So that's a start. Okay, I think we're ready to set the valves, or at least get the process started here before I gotta go. What we did is, since this guy, as you can tell, no rocker arms, right? We took all those off. And I didn't put the engine over on number 1 top dead center before we did it, and it wouldn't have mattered anyways because we're bumping it around to keep the piston high enough in the hole to keep the valve from dropping out. So the way you can do this if you've got a distributor in it is you can pull the cap, as you see I did there, and there you see the rotor pointing at number 1. That'll get you close. Then you can come down on your balancer and then go ahead and move it over to number 1. You should be real close just by hand if you want to, or if you're close enough, it's fine. So that's what we've got it to start. If you don't have a distributor dropped in it, makes it a little more challenging. With no intake on it, you can just look at the lifters as they come up, as they cross evenly on number 1. That's when you're on top dead center. If they're not even, you're on number 6, or I'm sorry, you're on number 6 compression stroke, not number 1 compression stroke, which is where you want to be. If you've got an intake on it and you can't see the lifters, you've got no distributor, you're 50-50. So one way you can do it is drop the push rods in it and look at those. If they're even, height is even here, then you're on compression stroke, top dead center, number 1. If these are not even, then you're on number 6. So that's the quickest way to tell if you've got an intake on it and no distributor. But so we've got this guy on number 1. We're going to use basically the 2-step method, where we're going to set 8 valves at a time. We're going to set the 8 that are off the cam lobes on top dead center, compression stroke number 1. Then we're going to spin it a full round to do top dead center compression stroke number 6, and we're going to set the other 8. So you can look online. There's charts online on how to do this as far as which cylinders or what, but I'll read them off to you just real quick. So on number 1 top dead center, we're going to do on the intake side, we're doing 1, 2, 5, and 7. So 1, 2, 5, and 7 cylinders on the intake valve. And on the exhaust valves, we're doing 1, 3, 4, and 8. So again, 1, 3, 4, and 8 on exhaust. Then what you're going to do, spin it a full turn over to number 6 compression stroke, and you're going to do the intakes for 3, 4, 6, and 8. and the exhaust for 2, 5, 6, 7. So intake 3, 4, 6, 8, exhaust 2, 5, 6, 7. So what you're going to end up with is basically those holes that have push rods sticking out of them. Those are the ones I'm going to do on this side, and then you're going to have 3 on the other side, and you're not going to have any on number 6. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to drop our rocker arms on here and start tightening these guys, and I'll show you how to do that here real quick. And here's our rocker arm. I've already got the little cone spacer widget bob thingy down in there. The taper goes down into the rocker arm. I just put a little assembly lube in there, so bearing grease. Use assembly lube and a little bit on there. I don't have any down here, so I'm just using what I got. So as usual. Okay, so you just drop this guy on here. We'll just do this one because it's easier to get to. And slide them down on there. Not a whole lot of anything crazy to it. Get this guy started. And let me go grab a socket real quick. And what I've done here, it's going to be kind of hard for me to do all this one-handed, but I've tightened the nut down here onto our push rod to where it's just got a little bit of drag. It's not loose, it's not floppy, and just give it a little bit. Okay, see, that's tight. That's a little too far, but it's fine. That's when you know you're right there. You're right at where you need to start. I can, ever so slight, I can move that. See what I'm kind of doing there. And this is, it doesn't need to be this finite, but that gives you an idea. I can kind of spin it right there, but I'm right at the edge of where I can't. So that's where you start. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do anywhere from 1/2 to 3/4 round on this thing of with your wrench here. So I'm going to go, I can't really get it in there and do a 1/2, so I'm going to do 1/4 preload, and then that's about a 1/2. I don't know how worn out this thing is, so I'm going to give it a little, maybe about to there. Okay, and that's it. That's about 5/8. Anywhere from 1/2 to 3/4 should be fine. Pardon me, Mr. Dump Truck. Anywhere between 1/2 and 3/4 should be fine on a flat tappet cam. That's essentially it. So you'll check here. You won't have any, you know, anything crazy loose or anything. You shouldn't be loose. You're gonna do all 8, spin it around like we talked about, do the other 8, and then you're done. Then you're gonna fire it up and you're gonna hope you don't bend push rods. That's how you do it. Good morning, everybody. All right, back with the Blazer, the one and only. Set some valves today. We wrapped up yesterday, or well, ran out of time yesterday. Had some appointments yesterday afternoon, so didn't get to work on it a whole lot, but we were just starting to set the valves, so we're gonna jump back into that here first thing. Get the valve covers back on this pile of junk. See if it'll run. Get everything back together. I got a new map sensor, I think, one of them sensors for it. Coolant temp sensor, see if the gauge will work. And let's see if this junker will fire up and hopefully not smoke. That's the plan today. And still got some front end work to do, which we'll get to that. So let's jump into it. Okay, we got the first 8 in. So now what we need to do, spin this motor a full revolution to get it up on number 6 top dead center compression stroke. Then we'll put the other 8 rocker arms on. So what I'm gonna do, make sure my guy is still on the battery over there. Looks like he is. I'm gonna look at my rotor here, and we're gonna basically bump it to the opposite, number 6, if I can see it. A little tricky. Anyways, right about the back of this terminal here on the coil wires where this is pointing, give or take. So I need to get it 180, and we should be real close. So let's go ahead and see if we can get it there. I don't know if you can see that. Oops, a little bit too far. That's close. Let's go ahead and let's see. Let's go around one more and then one more. Okay, back where we started. Okay, right about there. This other notch opposite the. Let me show you what we got here. So our little notch opposite the main terminal on the rotor is pointing where the other one was before. Right there, I think you can see our mark, and that deepest little notch on the timing tab, that's going to be 0. So that's it. We're actually right on it. So now the trick is just drop all 8 push rods back down in there on the other 8. Lube up your rocker arms, the tip where the push rod goes up in the back and on the tip where the rocker arm rides on the valve, and bolt them down, tighten them up like we talked about earlier, and you should be good. And then we'll cycle through it, watch them all, make sure nothing looks bindy and grindy and weird. So I'll go ahead and set this thing up and we'll get that knocked out real quick. Okay, got them all installed. 8 over there and 8 over there. Now let's bumper around and just keep an eye on it and see what it does here. Y'all let me know if you see anything crazy. Everybody moving? Yep. Let's check the other side real quick. Already trying to oil too. That's good news. Okay, everything looks good here. We got oil, that's a plus. So let's go ahead and start reassembling everything. And then we'll come back, get some spark plugs in this guy, and I guess getting close to try to fire it up. Okay, moment of truth time. I think we have got everything buttoned up under here. You guys let me know if you see anything that I missed. Plug wires are in, spark plugs are in, ignore that dripping. I just replaced a coolant temp sensor there, easy enough to do, so I didn't really explain it. Screws in, screws out, pretty much it. We got new injectors, remember a while back? Well, I guess it wasn't a while back, it was for me, but it wasn't for you. But new injectors in, new map, one of them sensors. This thing had a code in the OBD1 system, so I put a new sensor in it. I don't know, just throwing stuff at the wall. And we got a little bit of a coolant leak here to address, so we'll get to that. It's not the biggest deal right now. And some more suspension work to go, but I think we can try to, maybe we start it, see if it'll at least run, and if it will it smoke? I mean, it's gonna smoke for a little bit still, but how bad is it gonna clear up? That's the question. Reluctantly, I'm gonna go ahead and set up this camera and let's see what it does. Fire in the hole, see what happens. Oh, I hope this works. You bastard. Fired right off. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, way better. Check the gauges. We got some oil pressures. We have charging. We don't have any temp yet, but that's good. Fuel, don't know. Not sure still that it works or not. And the check engine light went out, so that is very good news. The only thing left is an ABS and a brake light, which, you know, what are you gonna do? That's pretty good. Slowly the old Christmas tree is going dim. Thought this thing was like a redneck trailer park year round, just got the lights on. That's not. Still a little smoke, just be burning some junk out too. Sure as hell started better. Still smoky, but will it clear up? That's the question. Guess we'll let it run a bit and find out. Little update. She's still smoking like the Marlboro Man. I don't know, maybe it's just, you know, maybe it's burning stuff out of the exhaust. I don't know. We're definitely burning a bunch of crap off, you know, down here. all gunk that spilled and made a mess. So we're, you know, we're doing stuff. But on the good side, the check engine light's still off, so that's a win. I think we'll just put some marble in it. I don't know. Can't hurt, right? Now she's a smoker. Woo! Nope, still smoking. Think she might be cooked. Wonder if it has any oil pressure still. Doesn't matter. Probably not. She's got some oil pressure still. Wouldn't call it strong, but it's there. And we're still down to just an ABS and a brake light. Brake lights don't even really count. Don't really even feel any blow-by of any significance either, which is, you know, I don't know. Not sucking anything. Well, it certainly runs a hell of a lot better despite the smoking. Runs way better. Wouldn't even run before, wouldn't even idle. So now we have a smoking, good running Blazer. I don't think that's burning off in the exhaust, I'm gonna say. Well, it's these moments when you feel like you need a win, so I guess we're gonna do the CV axle and the brakes on this side. Get the suspension buttoned up, so I don't know, at least we can put the wheels and tires on it. That'll look better. And let it fumigate out here a little bit and plot what our next move. At least we can get the thing to where it'll run and drive, be mobile, smoke, but be mobile, and that'll be a start. So you guys got to see this one. That is coming out of the muffler. That's motor oil. Same here. And blowing it out over there. So, is there any chance there's just that much oil in the exhaust from before? Is there any chance? Probably not, but it's something to keep an eye on. Okay, we got our CV axle in. Let's get this caliper in. Well, we're back in, get these pads in. And I got this fancy tool here, I'll show you. This widget here that I already managed to bend, but in the process of bending it, I figured out what I did wrong. I didn't put the old pad in there and push off of it. So let me show you what we got here. Ow, ow, that hurt. Son of a biscuit eater. Ow. Trying to break the tab off the back of this so that it's not hard to get out. Okay, anyhow, that's good enough. I'm gonna set this little pad in here and we'll drop this guy in. And okay, he's on reverse. And it's got this ratcheting action that's pretty slick. I need to go in some more, so. Okay, all right, get in there. Oh, it's tight. It's very tight. Oh, it's gonna be a battle. I can see it coming. Okay, let's try it without it real quick. Ain't a damn thing going right today. This Blazer. I'm telling you, it's trying to kill me. All right. Can it do anything, or is it just gonna bend further? Probably bend further. You pile. Go back in. Yeah, it's bending further. Okay, never mind. Can we get the pad in there? Can I just get the damn pad in there? Cut me some slack here, all right? Give me a win today. Okay, now let's try it. See what we're doing here? See what we're doing here? Okay, we're just pushing that piston back in. Sometimes you gotta give it a second here, let her catch up. Ooh, maybe not. That is actually bending that pad. Are we serious? Okay, and there it goes. It just took me putting a lot of pressure on it and then smacking it with a crescent wrench a few times, and whatever dirt and rust and crud was down in here, she finally let go. So we're just gonna keep on cranking. I think we might have bottomed it there. That's it. So pretty easy process with this tool, really. I could have never got it without it, so it was worth the money. Saved me the cost of 2 calipers. Anyways, if you want one of these, Amazon, I'll put a link in the description of the video. And if you want to click on that link and buy one, that'd be awesome. Amazon, throw me a few % of commission, and you get to support the channel and not spend any of your own money, and that's a win-win where I come from. As you can see, calipers on, got that done, let that soak for a minute, put the shock back on while I was waiting, said a few 4-letter words, and it's now accomplished. So we can move on to something else. All right, I guess it's time. We got to get it out and drive it and see if it does any better, any worse. Does it do anything? We got our front suspension done. We still got a pitman arm to replace on the steering, but I'm not going to have time to get to that today. Got our wheels and tires on it, so here we go. It's a big old bastard. Yeah, the console's a little loose. Yeah, the valve's still sticking. All right. How does she run, and is she still smoky? Feels better. Let's run. Okay. Hey, that's something. Doesn't pop and bang when you turn. Still smokes. It's got a bad lifter tick / stuck valve. That might clear up. Probably won't. You at least drive it now. Probably.
What do you think it is?
I don't know, it's about 3 packs a day right now. She's a heavy smoker. Well, I think that's gonna do it for old Smokey, our 1992 Blazer here for today. We got a little bit of progress made, I guess. It looks better. It's got tires now and they all match. It's still ugly as sin. It runs and drives at least a little better. It doesn't bog and hesitate. We got no check engine light. We've now got a lifter tick thing going on, but overall it's better. So, you know, I never said we're gonna make it perfect, but we made it a little bit better. So still got that smoke. We just need to drive it, see if it comes out of it. Probably not. We've got some upcoming stuff on the C10. May have another project in the wings coming up here soon. So we'll have to kind of wait and see on that in the next few days, decide which way I'm gonna go with it. But we'll have more videos coming. Trying to do these as fast as I can, kind of a one-man operation with the filming and working and editing and parenting and everything else. So, but anyways, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.